Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 19, the fifth one down south. Today, Thursday, the 14th of September, 2023. We have another wonderful topic and a great set of general managers we will soon meet. The topic is virtual reality. Virtual reality for sales and marketing, how VR can be used to showcase hotel facilities and event spaces to potential clients. This is a great tool to have up your sleeve to showcase your assets and create commerce. Without much ado, let me bring in my partner in the season for the series, the Diversey BW Hotelier GM series, season 2, Diversey. BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards, the IHA 2023, is due in just about 35 days from now on Friday and Saturday, October 20 and 21 at the Pullman, New Delhi Aero City. Block your time, please show the slide, and be there. The nominations have all been filed. They are being processed. Register yourselves now so that you can attend the event. The event is going to be webcast and telecast across mediums, be it bwhotelier.com or our social media platforms, right? And of course, to a select few hundred who will register themselves and will be invited. So they will be here and they will get separate invites. And now also, the GM series is going to take a small break. Tomorrow will be the last show, and then we'll take a break of a month, and we will be back on 26th October after the 20th episode tomorrow. We need to take that break because we are getting into that extremely important and big IHA. So there's a lot of planning that's going on at the back end. So I need to have all my eyes and ears completely into the planning of the show. So I'll take a break, don't mind, but we are coming back. We have another 10-15 shows to show off. All right, so now without much ado, let me introduce the show today. Like I said, the topic today is virtual reality for sales and marketing, how VR can be used to showcase hotel facilities and event spaces to potential clients. The GM show series has been extremely successful. We have some brilliant numbers, and we already have showcased and brought in more than 100 general managers on this during the season until now, which is episode 19. This show is relayed every Thursday and Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. and is virtual. We do it virtually because we are able to connect with a whole lot of general managers and bring them together on the screen. So without much ado, let me now open up the show, bringing in my first guest tonight, this evening, Rajesh Ramdas. Rajesh Ramdas is the general manager for the Grand Hyatt in Kochi. Welcome to the show, Rajesh.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me on the show.
Pleasure. Last time when you appeared on our show, you just moved in from Kathmandu to Kochi, from K to K.
Absolutely, I did.
All right. Next one is my dear friend Subhankar Bose. He's the general manager of the Kochi Marriott Hotel. Welcome to the show, Subhankar, our second one together.
Hello and namaskaram everyone, and I'm very honored to be in the show for the second time. and it has been a great pleasure to meet all my colleagues and see the viewers all across. And thank you, Mr. Khanna, for
Pleasure, pleasure,
all the.
Subhankar. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Next in is Deepraj Mukherjee. He's the general manager of the Meridien in Kochi. Hi, Deepraj.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here, Mr. Khanna.
Pleasure, pleasure, Deep. Dinesh Rai is our next general manager, and he's the general manager of the Crowne Plaza, Kochi. Hi, Dinesh.
Hi, everyone. Namaskaram to all from Kochi. And thank you, Mr. Khanna, for having me alongside as speaker with all these stalwarts of Kochi.
Pleasure, pleasure. Last but not the least, Fino Babu. Fino Babu is the general manager of the Holiday Inn in Kochi. Welcome, Fino.
Good evening, Mr. Khanna and everyone. Thank you so much for having me in this show. It's truly extraordinary to be a part of it. Thank you.
Pleasure, pleasure. So nice to have you all on the show. If I may, with your permission, get rolling.
Indeed.
All right. So in the ever-evolving world of hospitality, staying at the forefront of technological innovation is essential for attracting and engaging clients. VR has emerged as a powerful tool for sales and marketing in the industry, allowing hotel general managers to offer immersive experiences that showcase their facilities and event spaces to potential clients. We shall discuss today with all you experts present here and explore the innovative applications of VR in the hospitality sector and how it can revolutionize the way hotels present themselves to their world, to your clients. 3 years ago, if somebody would have told you, let's meet on the computer, nobody knew the word Zoom, nobody knew Microsoft Meetings, right? You would have said, go take a walk, right? And here we are, it's become a way of life, right? We've come out of our comfort zones. We do not waste time on flights. We do not waste time traveling on busy city streets and make better use of it. So if I may, Rajesh, I shall roll in with the first question to you, right? It's all about understanding VR in hospitality. If you can define virtual reality and its relevance in the hospitality industry.
Virtual reality basically means a simulated experience to give users immersive feeling of virtual world. This would be absolute bookish, but in relation to our industry, it plain simple means that if there is an experience that you want to book for in a hotel or in a facility, you would have the ability to sit wherever you are in whichever part of the world that you are and be able to practically virtually walk through hotels and look at the facilities that they offer, look at the amenities that they offer, and make informed calls of if this facility or this product is good enough for the vacation that we are planning. In today's day and times where vacations have become very shorter and there are multiple ones that happen, you take basically it's an hour's flight, or you could take a 6 or a 7, 8 hours flight to go to a destination. So before you go to those destinations, you would want to be sure that you're getting your money's worth, or that is the experience that your family wants. So practically, it is about knowing the product before you reach there, or even sort of eliminating the choices and looking for relevant choices that would suit your needs. That is what virtual reality would do in the near future. Of course, it started in a small way, but so did meeting on the web start when COVID happened. So in all relevance, that is what it is. How does it make a difference to hotels? Primarily, I think one is leisure travel that happens. If I were to be looking for a hotel, I would normally go onto the website and then I would look up videos, pictures to see whether it's relevant. And moving forward, if somebody can walk around and see if there's an amusement park which is attached to the property, or there are enough swimming pools for different age group of children or adults, or if there are spa therapy rooms, one would like to utilize, that would sort of help them leverage and make informed decisions of if they want to do that. In the other segment, if it is MICE travel, similarly, they would also want to come and have a look at the property, but when virtual reality really kicks in big, they would be able to sit in the confines of their office and look at properties that possibly even planners would suggest to them, and not travel to the location in the first instance. After they look at the property, they could make a decision if this works for them. Currently, what they do is they are predominantly dependent on the event planner to give them information of how does it look like, does it work out for them. The third aspect is that of socials that happen. It could be destination weddings as well. Currently, what happens is that clients travel to multiple properties to make their decision. It could be within India, it could be outside India, but it takes them to various locations, and then they have to experience the property. In future, how that could change immediately is that they could sit in their houses, they could sit in their offices and actually look and see the place, walk through the place, look at the banqueting facility, look at the different category of rooms if it suits their needs, or if it is good enough for them, because these are very special occasions for guests and they want the very best in their sort of budget that they have. So predominantly what I think it would do is give them an opportunity to eliminate certain properties without having to travel to them in the first instance. Just as to quote a simple example, the whole of last year, we had a lot of guests coming in to look up the place, our property, which is the Grand Hyatt Kochi, Bolgati, as a venue for their destination weddings. But this was possibly the last point which they came into. They had usually gone into all other hotels. Once they come in, they see the grandeur of the property, they see the island it is situated on, they see that it's modern facilities and of course the look and feel. In this case, they will possibly come and experience that for sure, because without the soft touches of service, without the food being tasted, without the warm welcome that the colleagues provide, you cannot have a wholesome experience. So virtual reality can do that elimination bit of hotels which they don't need to go to, but eventually they would still have to come to a property and be able to see it and feel it and understand if this is the right fit for them. Thank you, Mr. Khanna.
Yeah, very well said. Yes, that element of human touch, and there's no taking away from that, but there's no going away from technology, right? It's par for the course now.
Sure.
So tell me, how many of you have actually gone into VR?
From my side, I have experienced it in the hotel, and of course, the point was that I had somebody who walked in and said, could you spare 5 minutes of your time? And can you put this, the glasses on? Didn't know what I was getting into, but what I saw was a walkthrough of a hotel room, which was fabulous, because, you have that experience of seeing the room from different corners, going into the bathroom. Otherwise, in a normal video, you don't feel as connected to it. This takes it on to the next level. So as of now, yes, we are exploring the option of getting it done for the property, but haven't so far.
Yeah.
But how long does it take to turn around?
It would take some good amount of time, because in properties which offer not just rooms, but larger convention centers and for destination weddings, the client not only wants to see just an empty hall or a setup hall, they also want to see what sort of decor can be done there, what are the different combinations that are possible. So to that, the event planners would have to come and play as well, is what I think.
Excellent. So let me now come in with you, Subhankar. Immersive virtual tours, if I may. Subhankar, are you ready? All right.
Absolutely.
How can VR create immersive 360-degree virtual tours of hotel facilities and event spaces, right? And how have you dealt with it?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Rajesh has given a very, holistic, information about the entire virtual, tour and also the technology, in fact, involved in hospitality. And I feel the VR can actually, have a major impact in terms of making our immersive experience even before a customer actually lands into your premises. And in today's time, with this fast-paced world and time being very, very important aspect, and especially going from international and domestic tourism, I think it really gives the potential client a very high a big opportunity to digitally transport himself or herself and get into the hotel of their choice, and really look at each and every aspect of the hotel, the branding facility, in making sure that they are able to choose the right product. And the immersive experience that comes in along with this 360-degree virtual tours gives you a very clear identification of what you are actually looking for. Especially with regards to the event spaces, I think it can create a whole lot of experiential virtual tour, because you can actually see a lot of different experience of setups. You can look at different options of decor that you would want to choose for your particular event, and that actually is possible through this technology. Otherwise, if you would have come physically to a property, it would have been maybe not possible in terms of seeing that product in different genres and different styles. So in a way, this immersive virtual tour actually gives you that opportunity to see the potential of a particular place. And as a hotel general manager, I feel that it gives the hotel a much more opportunity to get a better buy-in from a potential client. Their chances of conversion becomes higher when they see the entire range of the amenities and the entire range of the product and its branding, the message that comes through the branding in such virtual tours, as well as it gives you more exposure in your websites, in your different modes that you would want the client to actually go through the immersive experience. So it really gives a whole lot of a reason for hotels to actually go for such technology, especially the immersive 360-degree technology, which actually is very, very good for the client as well as for the business.
Well, actually, the scope is unlimited. I mean, like you said, you could change the decor, you could change the colors, you could change the settings. Yes, you can. That you can also do when the client is there. But having said that, for instance, the client is overseas or he's in another location, because there are a whole lot of destination weddings, right? So after all, the clients are all coming from outside. They're not all local. So yes, you can bridge the time gap and you can make it convenient. Once you've crossed the first line, then you bring them face to face and let them have a great feel. Well said, Subhankar. Deep, if I may come to you.
I would put it, Hindi में कहावत है, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
बिल्कुल.
The more we are able to showcase our products on the face, we are in the race. It's a good differentiator. So there will be products which will not have augmented reality or virtual reality for the time being. The hotels and the products that are having using this intelligence of sorts and the product offerings in a VR form will actually have an edge over everybody else. That's one. Second, I have worked in plenty of geographies. Giving you a short example. So let's say there's a destination wedding happening. Usually the bride or the groom or the decision makers, a grandpa, grandma, or somebody in the family, all are spread all over the country, the continent, or wherever. So stitching their thoughts together. What I mean, for a wedding, what time would the wedding vows be taken? How would the sunlight be? How would the decoration of the hall be? I mean, if we can give them a realistic taste of that day and time. I mean, basically, we're trying to future predict and be in the future, live through the future, and actually envision what is the entire storyline is going to be. So I think this gives that kind of exposure to the decision maker. That's one. Second, for the holiday crowd, there are plenty of kids in the families who are actual decision makers and not the papa mama who are actually footing the bill. So a child can be mesmerized. Let's say, I mean, the current hotel that I'm working for, Meridien Kochi, it's an amazing product in terms of holidays. Now, if a child is able to, look at fishing experience that is available in the resort by actually, there's arrow showing and you go click on it, and then further on you go and you say you bait a line and then throw it in the backwaters. I mean, and whatever, these experiences, if you get a first-hand feeling of it.
So also let me come in over here. Tell me let's talk about enhancing client engagement. Why don't you discuss with us about VR experiences which can captivate, engage, and lock in potential clients?
So like coming back, I mean, so there are people who would be traveling to a destination based on one, their purchasing power, their interest, and the facilities available in that destination, in that hotel per se. Like a couple of panelists mentioned, that you either choose a hotel, you choose a destination based on the various facets of facilities available there for your family, for your client, be it a MICE client, be it a holiday maker, be it a wedding guest. I mean, different facets of the client group. So if we're able to engage with them pre-arrival, and thereafter also when they are in your property, have made a choice and have come in, even then, in order to, let's say there's a wedding going on, and tomorrow evening is a certain thing already fixed up and planned. However, there's a certain thing that the person would want to add on to the function. So he or she can actually visualize the entire thing through the VR available, and then make an apt choice. On another note, there will be many times while there is some disturbance.
Yeah, some disturbance. Can you mute yourselves, please?
Also, at many times, there are alterations required at the final decision making. I mean, after the sales have been maybe frozen, and then there are certain requirements of the clients in which they would want to figure out changes, and they would want to, do a dipstick as to what their choice is versus what his actual requirement is. So they can actually get a feel of how would this decision enact on the final day at the property. So I think in terms of client engagement, in terms of modification of any engagement to enhance the experience during the final stay or the final experiential product, you can really take it up. So I think this is a fantastic thing, and we all hotels would
absolutely. You're either with it or you're on your own and sinking.
Correct.
All right.
That's the best way to put it out.
Thanks, Deepraj. That was so well put. Yeah, pretty elaborate and very detailed. Dinesh, let's talk about personalized virtual showcases, right? How can you tailor VR presentations to meet specific needs and preferences of clients? One, does the software allow it? Right? Two, how far can you go and what all can you present?
Yes. So very first thing, thank you very much for, I think this question probably is ideally, is something which is very well narrated for me. And I can go on and on talking about it because there is so much to do. It's an ocean that we can actually create out of this entire virtual reality. I mean, humorously, if you put it across, virtual is the reality today. So very first thing, what I personally feel is like, it's extremely important for us to understand our market, our clients. It's very important, like, you really can't go and play an opera in a pub, right? Or rather, you cannot go and in an opera, you can't have a DJ going on. So that's exactly, so that's the, in a slight humorous way, I'm trying to put it across, saying like, you need to know your market. Say, you need to know who are your clients. You need to know are they business clientele, as everyone, in fact, as Deepraj, as Rajesh and Subhankar mentioned, saying like, it's important for us to understand the needs of our client, and then you can tailor make what exactly that you really need to showcase there. And when I'm saying tailor make, there has to be an option for them to select as to what they're really looking for, right? The moment I would want to answer the second question first, while saying like, technology is such a way that like, it can do anything possible. There's no barrier to any technology. If you think of it, it can be just amended the way that it can. It can take you to the very, very next level. So while offering personalization, as we said, like, we can tailor make for a business clientele, it is very important for us to know he may require this hotel for, for conferences, for meeting spaces, for, is there any transportation around? What is something that he can quickly go around and see it, see at this place? So that's, the VR can actually create that kind of an atmosphere also, showing, just imagine you're putting a a VR set and you're showing as if like you're stepping out of the hotel, and then you see around as well as you see inside the property. So as Rajesh mentioned, like, he had put a set and he's seen the entire what is there inside the hotel room and all. So when it comes to for us, say for example, we go for these travel marts, we go for where we have stalls, we can create a booth there and specifically look for what a tour operator is looking for his series of blog, what a MICE operator is looking for his clientele, and what can we as a hotel offer that. Say for example, someone is predominantly coming in for looking at your restaurant, he can look at his table. Ideally, he can look at the place where he wants to be seated. And to the extent VR has a capability of also doing a virtual sit down, you're sitting over there, you can identify, think of yourself sitting in a PDR, right? And in front of you, you got someone else chatting, and then like, you are one of them who are sitting. VR would possibly have the capability of do that as well. So apart from that, I personally feel that, when it comes to customization, we need to break our facilities. Say if a person specifically wants to know the spa facility, say for example, he search for it in your hotel and then get to the spa rather than getting into the hotel and then looking around for it. So it makes it really very easy for from a guest perspective to go directly to his requirement rather wasting his time as well. So I feel definitely VR has a huge potential to create this kind of an atmosphere. VR has a huge potential to create showcase that, like, what is in your premises and outside your premises. So I don't see there's any boundaries to it. And if there are definitely, there will be some way or means to overcome these boundaries as well.
Well said, Dinesh. Yeah, true. We are now like anything that technology aids us with. It's all on our palm, right? With
Yes,
our mobile, right? We carry it all here. It has immense and unlimited possibilities. And think about it. How were we managing a few years ago?
Indeed, yeah.
So virtual reality is here to stay. So coming to you, Fino, these are all marketing efforts, and marketing efforts don't come cheap, right? So let's talk about the cost-effective marketing, right? If you can explore how VR can reduce the cost of traditional marketing efforts, right? Rather than make, pehle wo hota tha that you would have to create things, print them out, and send booklets. Now tell me how many, even if when did you all last buy a car, right? We used to get that thick service manual, we used to get a user's manual, right? And we used to get a whole lot of books. They're all gone, right?
Yes.
How your car operates, you can start it off your mobile, of that app, where this car is. In January, I took my new car and I went across and I was speeding from Delhi to Jaipur. And I suddenly got a call from my wife. He says, your son informs me that you're speeding. You're at so-and-so place. You've jumped so-and-so speed. And you got challans, and the challans have come to your son. So you commit in person on ground, but everything technology takes care of. Right?
Indeed.
So coming to it, Fino, if you can tell us about the cost of effective marketing.
As you rightly said, Mr. Khanna, the technology is growing at such faster pace, it's impossible to catch up, you know. Thank you so much for putting up the show. I think, and thanks to the panelists, I think we're able to show some light into this subject, and which is worth the time. And when I come back to the question, I think in today's dynamic world, customer expectations for hospitality is skyrocketed. They are looking for extraordinary experiences, something which is unique and beyond the normal. And I think that's where the VR is coming in. You know, it's more than a buzzword, and it can be our secret weapon for both to delight our guest and to optimize our cost. As you rightly said, the traditional marketing can often eat up a hefty portion of our budget. Elaborate photo shoots, the printing fancy brochures, and the distribution of promotional materials. It's all can add up a substantial amount to the P&L. Now, using the VR in the right way, it can stash up our marketing expenses by a jaw-dropping of 60% as per studies. One is, like what you said, those traditional menus are no more there, actually, QR codes, and we are so used with it now. Now, imagine saving maybe another 50% of expenses related to show around or farm trips, you know. With VR, they can explore every detail of our venues, rooms remotely, and it's like a virtual open house. The clients can visualize their event without us incurring the expense of a on-site visits or a consultation. And it's a game changer. Honestly, there are times where a client won't be able to travel, as many of the panelists who said that, and for them to see a particular product, you know, it happens with me when in my experience, for a wedding booking, a bride wanted to order for a cake and it has to be a emerald green. It's because she has emotional value with it. It was the color of a wedding ring which was given by her grandmother. Now, unfortunately, the chef understood something else. Now, it was green, but it was not the emerald green, actually. I wish if you're living in the same world today, then this wouldn't have happened, actually. You know, we could have been probably get it fixed before the cake came into the stage. So now VR is not only about the pretty pictures, you know, it has the potential to be a sales powerhouse, like we discussed, you know, by immersing potential customers in the dining experience virtually. It can supercharge our conversion rates. So like, when a guest have already explored our menus, the rooms, and the venues, and get a sensory experience through VR, they are more likely to make reservations and place orders. So creating a 360 degrees show through VR can save us a whopping 60% of compared to traditional marketing methods. Guests can virtually wander through our property, and it's more engaging than, of course, those printable brochures what we were depending on till now. So VR experiences are tailor-made for social media. So when a guest is who, you know, they can share their VR adventures with their friends, with their families, with their dear ones. Now that generates organic publicity, and something which we are all hunger for. So the sizable amount which we are spending for maybe a social media boost or on certain engine optimization, that could be saved over there because there will be a natural boost for this particular post. Now, in a nutshell, I think virtual reality is already maybe, or it would be a strategic tool for cost-effective marketing in the hospitality industry. So it's about showcasing our venues, rooms, and even the dishes from our dining area in a way that engages and wows our guest. Plus, of course, it's eco-friendly, you know, aligning with the responsibility of towards the planet, and it's sustainable. Yeah, thank you.
It actually frees your time up for quality time.
Correct.
The Pentium 3 processor and everything, or whatever the dial-up that you are going to give us, it will make us think rather than the technology thinking before us. You know, that's.
I must tell you, yes, it's going to reduce a lot of dependency that you had on an executive assistant or a secretary, right? A whole lot of people, because you have that dashboard in front of you every day. Thank God for technology. It's now time to take a short commercial break. We also need commercial breaks. I have to thank Diversey. I have to bring in IHA. So I'll come back to you in about 30 seconds. thank you, Diversey. Now bring back the IHA, the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards. Be part of India's biggest hospitality event. If you haven't registered yourself, please go ahead and register yourself. We're coming live on Friday and Saturday, October 2021 at the Pullman AeroCity in New Delhi. Be there. All right. But you'll only be there once you register yourself. All right. So the numbers are going to be huge. The registrations last time were in thousands, but we could only get in 350 people for the summit. And yes, at the awards night, about 450, 500. So we had to block, we had to cut off at that, right? So if you haven't registered yourself, please go ahead and register yourself. It's all there online. So we're also now going to be taking a very short break after the 20th episode tomorrow. We'll come back on October 26th with the 21st episode. So yeah, we have to, because the IHA is coming and that's a lot of work there. We're already working on it for the last month and a half too. So such large events take a lot of working. Yeah, it's not the G20, but it's no less for us. All right. But yeah, so look out, watch out for us. October 26th, we'll be back with episode 21. We'll be heading into the East again, and then we do the circular thing. All right. So we shall have almost 30 and more shows. So we've already done 20. Thank you so much. All right, back to you guys. So let's talk about interactive event planning. So using VR to engage clients in the event planning process from layout design to decor choices is what the use is all about. How would you go about this? How would you do that? In fact, how do you do it?
Currently, what happens is that we have clients that come in possibly 2 times before they finally come for the final. There are clients that have come in 14 times. That's the level of detailing they get into, and probably wanted to set a record, but there was immense amount of detailing that had to be done. So should virtual reality kick in, it could take away a lot of visits for a client, because what they want to know is every aspect of the room, every aspect of the facility, every aspect of the hall that they would finally utilize. So if this is possible to see sitting in the confines of your home or your office, it should make things much more easier for them rather than to fly in every time. And when they fly in, it's not just one person. If it's a destination wedding, there's a whole lot of family that comes in, because decision maker is not just one person. There are multiple entities, and today's day and times, it's the boy and girl who've got a major say in how they want it. So it would make it much more easier, because then they will be able to see different setups. They should be able to see the configuration of halls, what works for them for any specific event, be it MICE or wedding. I was speaking to one of the event planners who does a lot of big jobs here and in the Middle East as well. And he says that this technology has not come in so far into Kochi, but they're already contemplating and talking to companies to set it up. Of course, Bombay, Delhi, and other metro cities, it has already started for sure. But the whole aspect is to integrate the halls, if it's a banquet hall, and how do you integrate that along with the decor and the setup? Because there has to be multiple options that you show a client. It just cannot be 1 or 2 options, because that's the whole difference of having this technology. So one is that venue selections become easier. Second, the client engagement, to walk through a client and simultaneously to be able to give a brief without coming into the site makes it easier. Visualizing setups, as I said, multiple setups. This for sure will take time, because you should be able to bridge the gap, as well as be able to capture various setups that are happening in the current scenario. And of course, the cost estimation also, to a larger extent, they can explain to a client, because when you're showing one sort of setup, there is a correlation to can we have this and how much will it cost, because eventually everyone's got a budget and you have to work with a budget. So that makes the biggest of differences. So yes, from a hotel perspective, and especially for a hotel of what we do, we would for sure have to have this. and it would make the experience a little more seamless and make it much more comforting to the client, that they don't have to come running into the property every time they feel things needs to be stitched up. So this for sure is coming our way, and I think it will be an advantage to have this earliest. First movers advantage is always there for technology and us adopting it.
You see, the good thing about technology is like a virus. Right? It's all over. It's by contact or not by contact. It's by word of mouth. Right? And then you've got boosters.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you have one variant, you get another variant, right? You have a Delta, you have a whatever, right? So there's no escaping technology. You're either with it or without it. And if you're without it, then your immediate neighbor or whoever has it is laughing.
Absolutely.
Right? Laughing because he's making the best of it. So there's no escaping for it. Right? And it's not a cost. It's an investment.
It is.
Right. So, and virtual reality is massive. You know, you don't have to carry big stuff with you. So you can just transfer links and they just have to click and.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah. So there you are. So yes, well said, Rajesh. Right. So for those of you who are unaware, Rajesh last year had just flown in from Kathmandu, and now he's Rajesh 1.5 years.
Just over a year and a half. Yes.
There you are. Ajit just opened. All right. So I'll come into you, Subhankar. Are you there? Yeah. Okay. Subhankar, let's talk about customization and branding. You know, these are extremely important because this is not the case of one size fits all. So everybody wants to have their part, right? And also with the newer generation, they experiment a lot and they say, listen, I need the maximum bang for my buck. So if I'm giving you money, please deliver. And they're unsparing, unlike our parents or we were. So tell me about incorporation of branding elements into VR presentations. For instance, to reinforce the hotel's identity. Then let's talk about culinary delights. For instance, exploring farm to table concepts, and the most important part of it, reducing food wastage, right? As in strategies for that. And also people like me, like I'm a vegetarian. So let's also talk about plant-based menus that align with environmental conservation goals. So that's quite a mouthful of a question. If you can handle it, please.
Yeah, I think, you know, the points that you specially mentioned is the most trendiest actually points. And I think it's not only trend, but it is also very important for every brand to actually inculcate and implement these actions, which is related to the environmental sustainability mostly, you know. And I think with this virtual reality technology, it is actually quite possible to customize, you know, various aspects of your branding. It can possibly give a more option for our clients to actually see what they actually prefer, what their preferences are. Because in the current global scenario, we see that the brand awareness has actually taken a big you know, shape, and there are a lot of brand driven you know, informed decisions that people are taking based on the fact that, you know, how the brand is sustainable in terms of their actions towards global environment, food based, the menus being plant-based, and these are all something that you know, all are possible through the virtual reality technology. There's a study that has come up, you know, and especially the Western world has been much on the forefront, right? For front runners in terms of this, and we are seeing that coming down to even you know, in the East in a big way. And there is a study that shows that about 50% of the internet users are actually looking at websites, going into your product and looking at it only when they find a virtual reality picture or a virtual reality scene in place. Otherwise, they would immediately, take themselves back and actually try and find another option. So that gives an opportunity for any establishment and a brand to actually showcase their best USPs that they are actually putting across. Especially when it comes to the sustainability piece, I think we have a great opportunity to put that across, because most of the global travelers are actually very well aware right now, and they are more and more preferring the brands which are actually going for sustainability activities and in their hotels or in their event spaces. And it is again, time is the essence, so automatically it gives a customer immediate reality check by going through the virtual videos or the virtual tour of a particular space and a hotel.
And also remember, you're not the only one they're talking to. You're not
Correct.
the only one who's presenting to them, right? So the customers
Absolutely.
are very clever. They keep it all side by side.
Absolutely, and that's why it's also a great advantage for to gain advantage. You need to have this technology in place in the best possible version, for your hotel. And as you rightly said, that it's a marketing, it's an investment. So there is definitely going to be a much higher return on investment.
And it actually frees up your time, like I always keep saying, right? So you can press the right buttons.
Correct.
Because you have time on hand and you can focus on doing what is it that Mr. Maniyar, who's coming in from Mumbai for this wedding over here, he's actually from Tirunelveli, but the wedding is in Kochi, but he's coming in from Mumbai. He's well prepared. And also, don't forget, you'll also have to loop in your partners, right? So the decor wala banda, everything else, the service wala banda, like in our part of the world, you need a godi, like a goda, a horse, right? So I don't know whether that happens in Kerala or not. I'm now going to get in with you, Deepraj, if you're ready. I want to talk about the data-driven insights, right? It's extremely important. How VR analytics can provide valuable data on client preferences and engagement, right? So as a touch point, the devil lies in the detail and the detail lies in the data, right? Because at the end of the day, data speaks.
Unlike now and older days, when somebody would come experience your product and then give you feedback, and then you think of modifying the feedback or maybe stalling and saying, this is how it is, take it or leave it. If there was VR available to every client, the client looks at a certain portion of the room, the restaurant, the product, the setup, the banquets. You are getting heat signatures coming in. You have data in terms of what is being looked at and how many times a client is moving there. So you can actually look at that part of the presentation of VR for say, and then maybe pep it up in the right way for matching up, aligning the client expectation versus what you are offering. That's one. Second, while we were growing up as hoteliers, I would have wanted and loved to visit 5 hotels in Dubai, 5 hotels in America, the best of hotels, to learn skills, this, that, other. However, if all hotels in times to come become VR enabled, I can do trainings for my associates with the best of St. Regis that the Marriott has, or the hotels. I mean, that's another angle to it. So basically, it's a training tool for my team. It's a team to gather guest perceptions and likes and dislikes from what they are actually viewing in the VR business, so, and then amending or rather aligning the product to a guest requirement. Then, example, I am the Meridien Kochi, and across the road is Dinesh. If I'm able to actually look into Dinesh's products and figure out what he's doing right,
you can just walk in.
So basically, I am having a people.
This is like you guys use the term comset, but it's healthy competition. There is room for everybody.
Correct.
We complement each other.
Complement each other.
More than anything, I mean, this is something really, really good. I mean, you may agree, because we are an inventory of almost 500 rooms together.
I'm going to charge you for that.
Property.
I'm going to charge you for that advertisement.
So between Crowne Plaza and Meridien, so we are about within 25 acres, 500 room property. You just walk to another hotel, isn't it?
A guest is looking at a certain thing and fiddling around. You see more heat signatures there as in a certain part of the presentation that is offered. You can actually talk to the sales team, and then they are after that, because after the VR, it doesn't end. They'll be interacting with the sales guys.
तो मेरे को इसके अंदर data analytics का बताओ, data driven
So
decision.
you are capturing all the data by the heat signatures that are being left by people who are interacting with the VR. So VR is just not, you're just not seeing something over a device. You are actually moving the screen around, going up, going down.
हाँ वो आजकल तो वो भी है ना.
हाँ जी. You actually interact with the system. So जहाँ आपकी interaction ज़्यादा है, you actually monitor those parts, and there's a trend there. Then you are actually looking at how do you amend it and make it more sellable, address it right, address it differentially from your competition or concept, whatever you want to say, and then you move forward there. That's the second one. It would increase a lot of customization of offers. Again, in terms of, let's say a certain part in your venue, a garden per se, is being looked at on a regular basis. You can actually charge a premium to have that place used, which might be getting, pretty much free as of now. Garden है यार, चलता है वहाँ कुछ conference हो गया या कोई team activity हो गई. But you can actually monetize if you understand how many people are actually looking at it and are interested in maybe taking a look at that product or offering or place. Then we mentioned the training of associates also. Then I talked about differentiation between competitors. Then I talked about taking a peep through into for associates in terms of training. Then we talked about how do we improve the product. There are many times that we think is our strength, but it might actually be a weakness for the product that we are currently engaged at. Feedback sessions can be then sent out to people who are spending a lot of time in a certain sphere of that VR presentation. And then questions accordingly can be asked as to how and what are you looking at? How can we customize? What is the exact requirement? And more detailing can be sought, which currently is pretty much.
This actually frees up your time to get into critical parts, for instance, execution.
Correct. So
getting into the details, right? What is happening in the kitchen? What is going to happen there? So, and then you can tell them, ke bhaiya, you can have, for instance, screenshots we have on a mobile that, this is what we've signed up on. This is what has got to be done. And everything gets transferred on the app itself.
It does.
To the stakeholders.
It does.
Right. So, yeah, pretty interesting.
I mean, unlimited opportunities. You can keep talking about it. It's fantastic.
Can you imagine general manager आज क्या बन गया? उसके पास सब कुछ है. Right. So, damn good. You have a great dashboard. So, Dinesh, मैं तुम्हारे पास आना चाहता हूँ. Doing all this, we also have to overcome technology barriers, right? So, like for instance, we have to address challenges of infrastructure requirements for implementing VR. Bandwidth है, ये है, आपका supplier जो है, आपका जो vendor है, कैसे बना रहा है. By the way, all these things are now done back of beyond, not in a Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore or somewhere. Right? पहले तो वो कोची में भी बहुत होता था. आपके tech park में.
Yes.
But today, youngsters are doing all this. So if you can throw some light on this.
Yes. Again, I think as I mentioned, probably the second question also talks about barriers. As I said, barriers are opportunities. And, as the book says, it is, although virtual reality gives us an immersive experience, right? But of course, these technological barriers will have a hindrance and always create a scope for anyone to take a decision on there. Now, coming back to first, let's talk about the first barrier, whether cost, right? You have already said it, across info park and someone or the other, there will be someone who's creating this cost and budgeting and everything, right? Now, say for example, there are many people who would have learned how to do virtual reality trainings and they would create. So you'll find a cost-effective person to create that. Now, also, if you really look at it, when we initially discussed about the virtual reality, we said how in depth are we getting? The more in depth you get, the cost is added to it, right? There are a couple of few things that you need to look at. You mentioned that like you need to gather your vendors, you need to gather your people who are working with you, gather your event planners. Now it's a team effort. Now an event planner is working for a Meridien also, and an event planner is working for a Crowne Plaza and Grand Hyatt as well. So the moment we click onto the event planner's virtual reality, it takes us to what he can also do. So you're actually stitching, like Subhankar was mentioning, we are stitching experiences using that. So why to create another one? Why to reinvent a wheel while someone has already created something? You know, this will help us to manage some issues wherein it won't take much of your technical space also. Because let's look at it. Your virtual reality is a big thing. It's as an ocean, it would take a lot of bandwidth. When it takes a lot of bandwidth, of course, let that bandwidth also rest in all your vendors' side as well. You know, these are things that we can possibly look at it. And when we are creating a bandwidth, we have to ensure that like we have to create a lot of great quality video. For that, you require the bandwidth. So which is related to your specific hotel, your specific venue, you create a high quality and then again use someone else's virtual reality data to be stitched along with yours. Most importantly, I feel is education to the guest. We just mentioned about that set, right? That is very much necessary in most of the virtual reality. Virtual reality you can actually go through your computer, but the feeling can only be given when you're really wearing that device, right? So how do you educate your customer? It's very important. Education and marketing of this virtual reality is equally important because you've invested a lot of money. You invested a lot of money and we invested money with a futuristic thought process. And you'll also have to understand that there will be a lot of changes involved in your current property as well, right? Those should be in a position to be factored and customized as well. Because today, if something is changing, you should be in a position to quickly change that specific system into your virtual reality as well. So for that, we need to ensure we also ensure that we educate our customer to use how they can use the virtual reality, because you are not talking to the customer directly. It's on your behalf. There is a computer that is talking to you. And so you have to create that computer in such an AI generated format that he would talk the right sense.
Computer will only talk what you program it to talk.
Yeah, exactly. What you feed in it, what you program in, and they have to be artistically.
You can't let the computer lead you. You can't get the software to lead you. You can't lead the AI to lead you. Even if you use AI is reality. We have to live with it. Like I said, these are all enablers, right? And they're great assistants to have up your alley.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, I tell you how you can. I mean, today, if you buy, I don't know anyone who have tried buying a furniture on a Pepper Fry or an Urban Ladder or something. You know, you can actually place a furniture on there. Just imagine you created for an event space. You have your banquet tables at a specific size, 5 feet table, 6 feet table, right? And you telling the customers, okay, you put the table where you really want to.
Hey, Baba, you go and buy a television on Amazon, it tells you how it will look in your room and where.
Exactly. And same thing. I mean, that's exactly what virtual reality is. I mean, you can, a guest or a client can actually place these tables.
Good, Dinesh. Sorry, it's always nice to
add a little bit of a humor on there. Yes, true.
Yeah. All right, so Fino, last but not the least, I'm coming into you. Fino किधर है? हाँ ये रहा. Fino मेरे को बता, हमने सब कुछ कर लिया, वो शादी हो गई, होटल हो गया, घोड़ा आ गया, घोड़ी नहीं, घोड़ा ही आता है, सब कुछ हो गया. Let's talk about success stories. All right. So if you can showcase some examples of hotels that have achieved remarkable results using VR, sales and marketing. Are you aware of any of these?
Well, sir, when it comes to examples, IG in India, it was Crowne Plaza Ahmedabad, which was a pilot hotel which implemented the VR tools which for marketing. Now, this was happened in late 20s, I think early 21st, during the pandemic time. So it was more of, the situation what demanded it.
But you were in Ahmedabad?
No, I was not there. So
the IG property, that was the first pilot hotel, which...
I remember that. Yeah. You know, there's a huge Mallu connection to Ahmedabad. So, yeah.
I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I was in Pune at that time. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So eventually the hotel seen a great impact on the guest satisfaction and the marketing reach. So followed by, I think, a couple of hotels in Delhi have done it. Again, I think it was Crowne Plaza in Greater Noida. So the feedbacks were positive, especially from those hotels which have a larger MICE facility or a strong wedding segment, so which is mostly all Crowne Plazas have it. So apart from that, there are hotels which is using the VR facility for briefings or orientations, like what Deepraj was mentioning. So in our region, this is again a Crowne Plaza in Muscat, so they use it for safety and security briefings. So before every event, they play a safety security briefing. So this is through AR technology. 2D video will be a 2D video will be played. So it's not only enhances the safety, but also adds a touch of innovation to the event experience, and just been appreciating it a lot. So as a brand, IG is also using the VR for trainings for the colleagues. So it's through a internet called Merlin by MyLearning, and it's been successfully doing from the last 2-3 years. All the employees go through that trainings. I've never been, but this is something which I have saw in YouTube. I don't know, you've been to this restaurant called Le Petit in Delhi. Now, the video which I saw was pretty interesting, actually. A little chef of a 6 centimeter in height, he moves around the table and, start preparing your meal even before your actual meal arrives at the table, actually, So he entertains you.
They give you a look, feel, and smell also.
Absolutely. So he entertains you. I was just wondering, now this is a reality today, and this is in Delhi. You can go and sit at the table and get experience it by yourself at any point of time. Maybe tomorrow, it may not be a table, it may be in Moon, and we may be sitting in Moon and probably watching Chandrayaan 4 is landing next to you while enjoying a space cuisine or a moon cuisine. So the point is, the imagination, the innovation, and the creativity have no limits.
True.
And the opportunity is what AR is giving.
We're actually limited by our imagination. So,
absolutely.
All right. So, yeah.
So I guess, especially in the dining area, VR is going to rule. Every single restaurant, every single dining space will be having some aspect of a VR. It may be a digital menu. It may be, let's imagine that a cooking class for those who desire. By the master chef of all his signature dishes through an AR medium. There are a lot of things we can do with this technology.
And listen, we have just started with VR, right?
Yes.
We haven't even skimmed the surface.
Absolutely.
Right? So what's coming? So you might as well go with it and ask for it rather than be told you have to have it.
Yeah.
Mr. Khanna, I've taken a cue from Deepraj in what he said. He said, if somebody looks at your lawn space for too long, then probably you should see how you can up the rate. So that's a revenue management tool that can be inbuilt in time, which says that the price that you quote needs to be this.
So is that it, Fino?
I think we have to wait and see what is going to come. Yeah. But
it's coming. And let me tell you, if you are not going to be in it, then the present generation and the one that's coming will not look at you and not touch you with a barged pole.
You're right. I think you're absolutely right, spot on that front. Before it is being pushed down your throat, it's always better to explore and see how you can customize it to your space.
That Colonel, that KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken guy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What age did he start his business at?
70 something?
60 or something?
66.
Yes.
I think it was 66.
65.
Colonel Sanders.
Right? So, yeah, you might as well go with the wave, or the wave will take you away.
Exactly.
Right?
Sure.
So, if I may, let me just cap up the session. Right? We've had a wonderful show, gentlemen. I've thoroughly enjoyed my session. Right? So, I've loved it. All of you, right? Just be with me, don't go away yet. So let me just close this. As you were doing, we were just talking. So tell me, The adoption of virtual reality in sales and marketing is transforming the hospitality landscape, offering innovative ways to engage and captivate potential clients. Our discussion today underscores the potential of VR to redefine how hotels showcase their facilities and event spaces, ultimately driving our order book, our bookings and revenue. As the industry continues to embrace virtual reality, it is poised to deliver immersive and personalized experiences that cater to evolving needs of clients in the digital age, reaffirming the pivotal role of technology in shaping the future of hospitality, sales, and marketing. That is a given. There's no escaping that. Thank you, gentlemen. Before I go away, I want to thank Diversey. I want to do all that. So I'm going to take another few minutes. Don't worry. Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards is going to be held on the 20th and 21st of October. Register yourself and be part of the show. All right. The last but not the least, we are going to take a break after the 20th episode tomorrow, and we shall come back on the 26th of October with episode number 21. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Now, a bit about the show tomorrow. Episode number 21, tomorrow, 15th of September, Friday. From Cochin, we are flying into Chennai, well, virtually. All right. So we have some fantastic general managers over there and a great topic to debate upon. It's about predictive analytics for demand forecasting, exploring how predictive analytics help general managers anticipate and manage demand fluctuations. It's another very important topic. Look out for us, watch out for the show, and cheer us up. Cheer all the general managers who are going to discuss beyond the sidelines, but be part of our celebrations. All right. So tomorrow is going to be episode 20. We'll take a break after that. With that, thank you so much, Dinesh. A pleasure coming back with you. But we haven't met physically, though. We should meet soon.
We shall meet soon, yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Subhankar, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fino. Thank you, Deepraj. It's been an amazing experience for me. I have thoroughly enjoyed my show today. All right. It's been a great outing for us. And also, before I go away, thank you, BW, the entire BW team, Tanvi, Shweta, Kartike, Prashant, Salman, Mudit, Ajit, Saurabh, Priya, all of you, Amit, Nilesh. It's a full entourage behind us, which is managing every and turning around every word that you speak into the social media and editorials. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for gracing our show. You make us look nice, right? And for a great debate. Thank you. Bye-bye.